My dear brothers and sisters, in Mark's Gospel, we identify this blind man as Bartimaeus. But in Luke's Gospel, there is no name given to this blind man. So the blind beggar then refers to each and every one of us. We are beggars and we are blind. And how are we beggars? Every day at Mass, we always say, Lord, have mercy. The same words of this blind person. At the beginning of Mass, we always say that at the Confiteor, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy on us. Kyrie eleison, Christe eleison. So we are, in one way or another, we are really beggars because we need God's mercy. We need God's love. And secondly, we are as well blind. Now, just wanted to ask a question. Why is it that we can't see in the dark? Why is it that when you put off the lights in your room, you can't see again? It's all dark. Yet we have eyes. Because if I ask the question the other way, why do we see? Most of the people will say we see because we have eyes to see. We have eyes to see. But actually we do not see because we have eyes. Otherwise we will see in the dark. We see because there is a light. Light, even for doctors and people, opticians, they will tell you you see because of the light. Light impresses your eyes and therefore you can see. So without light, we cannot see. It's not because we have eyes that we see. It's because our eyes, the lights make an impression on our eyes and then we can see. If our eyes lose the things that can capture the light, then we become blind. So we can shield our blindness if there's the part of the eye that is destroyed, that is supposed to absorb that light, that has to receive that impression from the light, then we become blind. But we see not because we have eyes, we see because there is light. So sight is something that comes from the external. Therefore, at the same time, John's Gospel says in John chapter 8, verse 12, that Jesus is the light of the world. So we can only see, I'm not saying physically seeing, but spiritually seeing with Jesus. Unless we accept Jesus, unless we heed to his invitation when he says, bring him to me, come to me. Unless we listen to that call and go towards Jesus, we would be spiritually blind. And there are many things, like there is a crowd that scolded the blind man and said, no, don't scold them. Stay here. Be quiet. Don't say anything. There is a crowd that, last time I talked about the virtues of the world, that the world is trying to convince us to keep to the standards of the world. We have to do this and do this so that you are accepted. And we forget about what we need to do in order to be accepted by God. We want to keep to the standards of the world. And therefore the world will tell you, no, you don't need to go there. I mean, on Sunday when people are going to church, you can go and do something else, you can do that, and it will be more beneficial to you. Dear brothers and sisters, if we feel that by doing the works ourselves we can gain salvation, that is not true. We can only see, we can only be saved through Jesus Christ himself. Yesterday I was having a little seminar with the youths and I was asking them, what do you think would be the source of your happiness? What can make you happy? And they had very wonderful, interesting answers. Others said, if I get my career, if I finish school and I become a very good teacher, then I'll be happy. If I get a lot of money that I can look after my family, then I'll be happy. If I get this, then I'll be happy. And all these things about what we can achieve, what we can get for ourselves, it will make us happy. And that is really what they call spiritual blindness, because happiness does not come from these things. Happiness can only come from the source of happiness itself, and that is God. We see not because of our eyes, we see because of Jesus, who is the light of the world. We see because of the light outside there that impresses our eyes. So we cannot get happiness, we cannot get joy, we cannot get peace from the things that we have. We can only get that from the source of joy, the source of peace, the source of love. So happiness can only come from that which is happiness itself. Love can only come from that which is love itself. Joy can only come from that which is joy itself. And that is why we must keep our eyes focused on Jesus and Jesus alone, not on the things that are upon the earth or the things that surround us. So therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, Jesus invites us, blind and beggars, to come to him. When we come to him, then we will get the right direction for our lives. Let us remember that not the things that we have makes us happy. Otherwise, people will not be committing suicide and depressed in Europe, where they have all these things, where they have the most comfortable life, yet at times there is no happiness, there is no joy, there is no peace, there is no fulfillment. And yet the people staying there in the slum are those who sleep the longest, those who are most joyful, those who are most peaceful. That tells us that there is something else that is the source of all the things that we are seeking for, and that is Jesus himself. My dear brothers and sisters, Jesus invites us to himself. He says in his word in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 11, verse 28, "Come to me, all you who labor and are overburdened, and I will give you rest." He said to the blind man, "Come to me, and I will restore your sight." And he said to him in the end, "Your faith has saved you." Let our faith bring us to Jesus, and through this faith we will receive our salvation and our true spiritual sight.